Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So the aim of today's video is to show you how I'm going to pack this bike into a bike bag. So I'm flying to Spain in a few days time. I'm bringing the SL7 because it is lighter, and for the same reason I'm going to be bringing this pair of San Polaris wheels. Not that I'm trying to be a weight weenie, but because I'm taking a flight with only 25 kg, so I kind of need to save every gram. Also during the trip I plan to climb quite a bit, and I'm just thinking that a lighter bike would help. But the main point is still the flight. Let's move on. I'm going to bring my bike back in. Okay, so the bike bag that I'm planning to use for this trip is this one. It's called the Scicon Aerocomfort 3.0. And the best part about this bike bag is that it can fit the whole bike in without me dismantling my handlebars. So that was the main issue that I had when I was trying to decide between a soft case and a hard case. Because in most hard case bags, except the bike box Allen, you have to remove the handlebars and tilt it to the side. Whereas for this one, I can just mount the entire thing into the bike bag without removing my handlebars. And I think that will save me a lot of trouble, especially with all the new integrated handlebars nowadays. So the first step to loading the bike in is to remove the wheels. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, I'm just going to put the wheels here first. And the next part is to spread the whole bag as much as possible. So you want to spread it apart. Okay, and remove all these things. There are a lot of like stringy, strappy things around. Just got to get them out of the way. It's actually quite easy because the bike mounts directly onto this frame that the bike box has. And then you just adjust the length of it. Okay, and then we're gonna put the rear. Okay, so a couple of things to note. People always complain about their shifters being banged in when they arrive. And then the number two thing is a broken derailleur hanger. And the last thing is their brake pistons being squished. So this is a wedge from SRAM that I'm going to use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it between the brake calipers so that when the brake levers are accidentally squeezed during transit, at least the brake calipers won't like touch together. If you don't have one of these, something else you can use could be a name card, credit cards, or anything that is slim and that you can just shove in here. But the important thing to note is make sure it doesn't drop out after you put it in. So if it's a bit loose, then what you got to do is just tape it around. They should have the same kind of thickness as rotors to prevent it from being compressed, because if you don't do this and your brake levers are squeezed, then when you arrive you may find that you can't even put your wheel in. Okay, and then now we're going to remove the derailleur. So the idea of this is to prevent this thing from breaking, because a lot of times they hit against this and then this thing goes. So underneath the bag you can see that there is this hard plate, but I don't know, I just don't feel safe with it. So what I'm going to do is take the whole thing out and then we remove the problem completely. So apparently if you remove the derailleur from the derailleur hanger and leave the derailleur hanger on, then you'll have less problems with indexing later on. Okay, so I've removed the derailleur. And an important thing to note when you put it back is just to make sure that this plate is touching the B screw and this part of it is touching this notch, and that'll make sure that the whole indexing will remain the same even after you reinstall. So it should be pretty easy. And the good thing about SRAM is that you have no wires, so it's free hanging. Okay, so now we're going to remove the batteries. That's the other good thing about SRAM. And then this is the part where we need the bubble wrap. So I'm going to bubble wrap this thing. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of tape, because I think that if I wrap around the entire thing and I get there, I'm gonna have to rip off the whole bubble wrap and I have nothing left for when I come back. So that is why just a small piece of tape here, so I can reuse the bubble wrap later. And then I'm going to tape the whole bubble wrap of derailleur onto the frame back so that it doesn't fly around in transit. Okay, and now we have more bubble wrap. This one is going to be for this side of the derailleur. I'm just gonna roughly put it in. Doesn't matter too much. So it's not the most secure way of sticking, but I guess the important thing is so that in case the chain drops out, it won't scratch the frame. For the wheels, I'm gonna remove the rotors. I think this is the only way to guarantee that they won't get bent. Okay, so this is the part where we strap the bike on. Put these strappy things on. And so for the rest of the space inside, you can actually just stuff the rest of your clothes inside. Looks like we're ready to go.